during the pandemic because it was this challenge to reach people. We wanted to hear what was going on in the communities, but we also wanted to provide information. And since then, we have provided, um, over 100 or so blog chats in the community, issues ranging from health, government services, any of all of the various social determinants of health. And we usually bring a speaker on. But before that, we talk about some of the offerings that we can do to help, in the community to make the connections and dots. And we thought it great to have you on because the city of Buffalo is part of the FEC model moving forward in terms of financial empowerment, also bridging the racial wealth gap as well too. So our thought here is that we wanted to record this, or what we wanted to do is give you the opportunity, because this is pretty interactive. There's a whole bunch of folks on, and we go and ask questions, and they go back and forth.
Yes.
And so we could do the recording and share that. But what we were also thinking about, because this is such an important topic, definitely in the city of Buffalo, in terms of just understanding a little more about, big picture, and maybe bringing you back when there's a lot more interactive. And I wanted to put that up to you. I do know that we have some other folks on board. That looks like some other Block Club people, but normally we have a lot more, And
No
so
worries.
charge that to my heart, no, charge that to my head, my heart, has a whole bunch of love for folks. So, um, and so I wanted to put that up to you, and then to my staff here. Um, and so, as you can tell, I have a great staff, you know, um, Malika and Aaron, and you'll see Nicole, and, Mike is under there where it says Division of Citizen Services. So, any thoughts, guys? Or
I think if she's okay with rescheduling, that might be the best thing to do so more people are able to take witness.
I second that, but if you do want to proceed today, we can record it and kind of disseminate it that way. It's up to you guys.
And I want to be mindful of, Stacey, thank you. I really wanted to be mindful of your time as well. And part of it is being mindful of your time, but it's such an important topic, and it's something that we're doing too. I also see a couple of community members on board, we have somebody from MVP. I think Charles is with a Block Club. Is that you, Charles?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yes, it is. How you doing?
And then Charnice, are you with a Block Club as well, or?
No, I'm from Heart of the City Neighborhoods.
Oh, Heart of the City. Okay. All right. Thank you. So we do have a few people on here, and Amaya is on here. So I thought here, and again, I don't want to have, I would like to invite you to come back. Stacey, to be quite honest, I would love to, because there's an interaction that's going on. But we do have a few people, and if you felt the need to maybe give an introduction in terms of who you are, where you're at, and we can kind of open it up, and then maybe at another time get a little more into the details of it, because this is an important thing, at least with the city of Buffalo. The mayor is going to be making some major announcements in his state of the city within the next couple of weeks. And this is one of the things that we're going to do. We're going to talk about the cohort that we are involved with regarding building a financial empowerment center,
Yes.
but also putting some strategies and looking at the challenges that the city of Buffalo's had in its past, but also looking at the racial wealth gap, moving forward too. So let me just say, good morning, good afternoon. And so I think we're here, we have a little bit of an audience. If that's okay with you, Stacey?
I am fine with that. Wait, I feel like I was about to cry or something. But no, this will be fine. And then I will definitely be honored to come back too. So just, obviously don't want to waste nobody's time. So, hey, we can still get out what we need today, and then we can always reschedule, another date as well.
I do appreciate you. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
It's all good. Sometimes, you know what, we just got to shift, right?
Yes,
Sometimes we just got to shift.
life
Yeah.
happens. So I'm not mad. I'm
Yeah,
not mad. I'm not mad.
I
So I've seen it
appreciate
all.
you.
I've seen it all. So yes.
Well, I explained to you what our block chat is and what we're doing. So like, let's just say we're doing a little modified version of what that is. But we're gonna usually we will go into a little bit about some of the announcements with the city. But while we have you here, again, I'm pretty sure you're familiar, at least with the city of Buffalo, and they told you a little bit about what we're doing. But that FEC model and the role that we're
Yes.
going to be playing and moving forward. We haven't told the folks here, but we have been granted to help us along the way. We've teamed up with the folks from Harvard and Bloomberg Philanthropies, and we're getting a 2-year graduate or scholar to specifically to move the city of Buffalo and to specifically work on this particular issue. We're excited about that, along with utilizing my office and some to kind of bring this to fruition. This position will be squarely in our office, and that person will be reporting directly to the mayor in terms of enacting and looking at policies from a city perspective, but also from other entities, banking institutions, philanthropic institutions, educational institutions, and then also community members to be a part of this too. We've identified a building, that we're going to house this in. We're going to, and it's on the east side of Buffalo, and we'll explain a little bit about that. But just excited to be here. So let me introduce Stacey for being a part of this. I'm going to have you kind of talk a little bit about who you are, why do you do this work, and moving forward, maybe there's a best practices or some things that the city of Buffalo can kind of model at, or all of those different things. And then after that, Stacey, I'm going to open it up to questions, and people going to ask a whole bunch of, they're going to poke and prod, and then you get a chance to poke and prod as well too. Okay.
Sounds good to me.
All right, Stacey, the floor is yours.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you for that introduction. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Stacey Walker. I'm with the Rochester Financial Empowerment Center. I get excited, talking about debt. This is one of the things that wasn't in my household. So I appreciate the fact that this is a free. Did we say free? It's a free program that's offered, I say now in 33 states. Cities, I should say. As of right now, it's in 33 cities. So I'm excited to talk about it. The model of the Rochester Financial Empowerment Center is banking, savings, credit, and debt. So whatever the financial need is, we're definitely here. We're the counselors to put this work in. It's a lot of work. I say a lot of work. It's, it's something that you have to do, have to love, have a passion for, honestly speaking, and non-judgmental in a sense of, don't care what their background is, but we care as in, reaching those financial goals. So that is so important. It's so important. I just say so important. I've been in this business now for 17 years. I'm excited to say 17 years, but in the Rochester financial empowerment side, I've been doing this for 3 years. So it's rewarding, I would say, huge rewarding, I say, for me, just to help others. From 18 up, our program is designed for adults 18 and up that we're able to assist. We went through many challenges, in these past 3 years. We went through a mayoral change. We went through, the pandemic. So it was just hard adjusting, um, being in the, let's say, in the atmosphere of working with the different partner sites that we do have. This so the program designed for face-to-face, all face-to-face meetings. Then we went totally over the phone. Now we're able to do video. I say thankful for COVID for that, but now, just looking at other ways. So we had to do a lot of adjustments, but the work is still I say still the same. It didn't change. It's just that it's not more so face to face, but more so with the phone. We get a lot of different people, all different backgrounds, that we're able to assist. And I'm just happy to basically say give my expertise on just what I've learned. So it's exciting, challenging, rewarding for me as a counselor experience that with this program. Questions?
So yes, so you and so how long have you been with Rochester doing this?
This program, 3 years, but I've been in
3 years.
business for 17 years. 17 years.
So
Yes. 17 and a half.
Dr. Lomax?
Yes. Yep. Yeah, I worked on a couple of committees. He was actually on our board for Consumer Credit Counseling Service. So great guy,
Good,
great
good.
guy.
So obviously the city of Rochester moved very purposeful in this particular area
Yes.
in terms of that. Um, what do you think as a city or as an entity you think we need in terms of first steps in terms of some acquisition in terms of this?
So I would say definitely putting you, I say in the heart of the city, where people are less likely to go, less likely to go. Less likely to, the areas that we're in, they don't get those different resources that's available out there. So that will be like number one, finding a place that works. When we started off, it was about 9 different partner sites. A couple didn't pan out, but about at least 7 did. So just being in the heart of where, meeting people where they're at. So we have adult education, DHS was huge till the pandemic. Uh, we do have a Hispanic one, a location there. So meeting people where they I would say normally wouldn't receive different resources. I would say that would be like a start. That would be like setting that foundation there.
You mentioned, there's a question, it says, do you help people with investing in investment strategies, also creating a budget so that there's money for investing? Um,
I was Yes and no. So we have resources for that. We're trained to, and I say the minimum, but we're able to send using our resources for that. So to be more so like a referral service for investing. We do have like
mhm,
small business as well. We do counsel people for small business, but another referral service that we send people out to. So we set the foundation and then we give them the different resources that they can go to, different places.
Good, good. So when you first started, obviously you started with the basic some basic stuff. Now, 3 years later, what have you added to help enhance that model that you have that you didn't start with?
The foundation is still there. The banking, savings, credit, and debt that set the foundation. That's going to be your main platform there. We've added small business. Different they have like different things that they worked on, but they tried out in different cities. So for us, we were small business. I know that I want to say like Minnesota. Michigan, maybe they did like wills. They're still trying to figure that out piece there. We were all like testing. They had like different testing for different things in different cities. So they just wanted to try it out. We were just the one that did small business for this 3 years.
Yeah, and it speaks to that generational wealth, right? And we're talking
Yes.
about bridging what that gap is.
Mhm.
I know that's something that's on our roadmap. So obviously the savings and that piece, which is important, getting
Yes.
people to understanding about that. But what we also find, because we have an aged population,
Mhm.
right?
Yes.
And we want to talk about home ownership, and some are moving in
Yes.
that area, but some just want to talk a little bit about this generating and keeping the wealth within them. But wilderness states, what we found out is that many people have have are sitting or living in investments that they've made, but are not actualizing it. Or when
Okay.
something happens, right? When something happens to that person, that that owning it at home or whatever goes to somebody other than the person that they intended. And because there's no will or there's no estate, there's nothing
Correct.
that there's no planning to. So that's something we're looking at into too. And that again, this speaking to that kind of generational wealth.
Yes, yep. That's just one of the areas we didn't touch, but it's out there. I promise you, it is out there. It just wasn't on our radar. We just didn't test it out. But when actually went to New York City and they told us about it, it was excellent. It was just like, wow, I need to do that. Definitely need to do that. Just speaking from my generational wealth, it's there. It's, that's one of the things you don't talk about, but it's a conversation to have, and that's needed. So I know it's needed. It's definitely needed in the community. I can second, third, fourth, everything of that. So it's needed. It's definitely needed.
Well, listen,
It's needed.
uh, my young staff, they've moved away from the crypto, but now they talking about investments in Microsoft, Google, and all that stuff. I wasn't
Yes.
thinking about that, but that's those are real opportunities in terms of
Yes.
just building that instead of this. Well, first of all, we want you to bank. We want you to be connected, right?
Yes.
But then there's a point in time when you're saving and you're like, that money's just sitting there. Can it do something else or whatever? But you first have to get people in the mindset, in terms of at least saving and what they're doing with that too.
Yes.
Any questions from any?
I do
Oh,
have
look.
one.
Yes.
Stacey, so last year we held these meetings and we found out that financial literacy and empowerment was like a focus, and there's a lot of people in the community who's very interested in this information. One of the initiatives that we run is the Clean Sweep initiative, where we go out into the community and we provide resources door to door. I was going to ask you if you yourself or you had staff who would want to come out with us on Wednesday mornings, and I can meet with you privately and go through the program in a bit more detail. But if you had staff or yourself who could go out and engage with the community on in a face-to-face manner on Wednesday mornings, we would love to have you out there with us.
Interesting.
Well,
Say
I know.
interesting.
they're in Rochester, Mike. Yeah, so
Yeah, I go to one of my partner sites on Wednesdays. That'll be something I just have to, run across, my boss, because they still have to plan for that, and they got to pay for my trips. So it'll be great, definitely to hit the ground for that. That'll be something that's it's needed. It's so needed, like, um it's needed. I'm gonna just say that it is definitely needed. It'll be a great experience, just having that. Something that, I'm not entitled. I say yes or no. I had to take that back to the boss. So, but I would be glad. That'd be something that to do. Yes.
there is a question. This is from Charles. He says, "Talk about your toughest challenge when helping the public."
Wow. So that's interesting. I would say one of my partner sites. It's office for adults, education, and we serve refugees. And the language barrier is tough. The language barrier is huge in that aspect there. I struggled only because, you know, I don't speak Spanish. I don't speak Dari. I don't speak Chinese. I don't speak none of those other languages. So I had to learn how to communicate with different um, cultures. So that was definitely a culture shock for me. It was definitely a challenging time for me, only because they don't speak English. So, we had to learn different ways they're trying to learn, I say English in that sense there. So, I would say for me, that was a hard experience. I'm still adjusting, talking slow. They use their phones a lot. So to communicate, as in, they read, they understand, they can read my lips, but they also put it in their phone to interpret. So that would be like one of the things. We do have a Spanish speaker, but he speaks Spanish, but other languages. So we do have interpreters, for that. But that was a challenge, say for me, in that case there.
So I have
Other,
a question.
yes,
Um, it kind of speaks to what Mike was talking about. I know you guys are in Rochester, so going to a clean sweep may not be feasible for you. However, we do have a As Director Mestry stated, we do have a fellow that will be joining us very shortly, that'll be taking on a lot of that role and getting this implemented into the community. Can you give us some tips or let me know what that process looked like as far as getting the community aware of your financial empowerment center? What did that process look like to even get the interest of the community for that buy-in?
So for me, I was on the back end. So I was on the back end of that. So they had a lot of, so I'll say, let me say back up. The city of Rochester and Consumer Credit Counseling Services, it was a collaboration. So with that collaboration, the city side, the city of Rochester did all the groundwork. We were just a agency that they selected to do all of the financial piece. So
Okay.
when they hit the ground, they were, I don't know, like I have to be honest, I say I'm not gonna say shoot no smoke around anybody's butt or anything like that, but they did the groundwork. They did all the buttons push. They contacted all the different funders. We were just coming in saying, "Hey, we're the counselors. We're just here to help the community in that aspect there." So I'm not sure all of the details that went into that, but I can tell you it was a lot because it took about 2 years, at least 2 years for the program to get started. Because we started our training October of 2019, and then we started counseling February of 2020. Then that's when the world changed. So prior to all of that, I wish I say my manager was here on that piece there. She would probably know a little bit more on that aspect there, but I know they reached out to different funders. They reached out. I'm not saying it was a head booker involved, but I'm quite sure um New York City was assisting them a lot because they did help us along the way with this whole process. So um, they were like they set the foundation for everybody and then, help them along the way, knowing which partners to go to and funders as well. So we can connect next time. I'll make sure she's on those ones, the city side, and I say our side too. It's helpful, but you definitely bring up a valid question there. So thank you for that. Thank you.
So
Thank you.
Stacey, when
Yes.
you're dealing with a client or you're dealing with somebody, on a one-on-one basis, at the end of the day, and I guess every client is different, but you know, what does success look like? How do you know, like, okay, they're gonna be all right, or what does that look like? In terms of your day to day.
Yes. Thank you for bringing that up there. We're still measured, so obviously our funders want to see, Stacy, what you've been doing for these past 3 years, which the slide will show that too. But just to give you some of the numbers, I know that I said to look at the numbers there, but we're measured so that banking, savings, credit, and debt. So all that plays a part. We have numerous people who increase their credit score, numerous people who reduce their debt, numerous people who I say purchase houses. So it's a lot of it's about 8 different how we're measured for our outcomes. So it's a outcome status. I'll say we're measured by that. So they can see, this is, I got the hardcore numbers I can show you there, but just to give you a snapshot, I know we had over $1 million in people savings and reducing debt over by like $2 million. So the numbers in the past 3 years, I would definitely say are impressive. Sometimes, it's like I'm like their side cheerleader. Hey, this is not just a one-on-one conversation. So we meet with them more than once. So some are weekly, some are monthly. It just all depends on what the client want. We don't want to, I say, overstress them out. We don't want them to feel overwhelmed. So it's just, hey, when do you want to meet? So most of my clients now, they're on almost like a once a month. But I do have a couple that's every couple weeks that we meet, and people want to be held accountable for this. So because of that, hey, let's meet, let's meet. They want to meet more than not as often. So we do have a lot of people who meet often.
Well, once they have improved their credit score and they've got money to save and all of those different things, what do you what are like the number one, two, or three things that they move into or they do?
So most of increased credit score is huge. Why? Because most of the people want to purchase a house. That's like the, increased credit score. Savings, I get a few people who just they get there. They have to use it. But I just say, looking at it from the outside, looking in, hey, look, you were able to do something versus nothing. So I still encourage them on those small wins. Small wins to me are huge. Why? Because you did something different that you haven't done before. So that's huge. It's a huge success. So increased credit score, improve credit, reduce debt is huge. Why? Because they're not spending just because they're not spending. I say they're not spending, and then another say I'm a certified student loan counselor as well. So I have a lot of people who were able to get out of delinquency status, bring them current. So that was huge. Let's say on the radar there too. So huge.
There's nobody here is in that status, right? Yeah, no, I'm just joking around.
Definitely here to help, but yeah, but you guys got somebody in Buffalo that can help you. So but yes, I've seen a lot of people with student loans, and that was a huge topic, when the COVID came around and what to do, you know, how do I get my student loans um, dismissed? So that was huge, and a lot of people paid a lot of money just for them to be in the same position. So just try to keep people informed, this is what you need to do, working for the nonprofit agencies. Because a lot of people got rich quick schemes that were out there, and now they're suffering because the choices that they made. But
Mhm.
we're here to help. We're here to help, and it's free. It's free, and I can't, stress that word free. Where they try to take advantage of it, I can honestly say, just obviously been in the business for a long time, and for our company, we at one point we did charge. Then they just stopped doing student loans, and because I was on the Rochester Financial Department side, I was able to still assist people with the student loans. So that was a huge thing for people as well. And the county that we served, for us is just Monroe County. They did do surrounding counties at the time, because of COVID, people unable to get where they need to be. But now, COVID is down. Now they're sticking back to the Monroe County, the people that we are able to serve. So that was huge too. Um, who your audience, who you're trying to um, be able to, the people that you're able to serve.
Good, good. You said there were some people in Buffalo, who are already
Yeah.
doing this.
Yes, 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 yes.
Okay.
CCCS of Buffalo. I know that they were, because we actually had to refer people, well, not me, but our agency had to refer others who wanted assistance with student loans. So we had to refer out to Buffalo because CCCS of Rochester were
CC,
no longer
you
consumer
said
credit
CC?
counseling.
Oh,
Three
consumer
C's on
credit
us.
account. Yep,
Yes,
got it. I
yes,
have to make sure that they're part of our coalition that we're going to be building.
yes, 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 yes. Yep,
Good.
yes, yes.
Any other questions for Stacey?
Please
Stacey,
ask one question. Just ask the
we got
question.
we picking your brain here
Yes,
because
please do. Please do.
again, Buffalo is going to be doing this, and we were excited when we found out Rochester. I think they're going to eventually pair us up with you guys, and because of our proximity, because you guys, I know in the mayor's office within the city of Buffalo, there is an office of what is it called? Office of Financial Empowerment or
Empowerment. OFE.
yeah, OFE. Yep. And so we want to be able to kind of highlight that as well, and because our department is in the neighborhoods, we see it. We're helping people with the connections of city services and all of those things, but we understand there are people who are needing help. And then we're also going to be able to give them some dollars and some seed monies to help them along the way too. So we want to help prepare. We're also going to provide them with some dollars as well too.
Yes, and those initiatives, they do help out. They're more like, hey, we got to do it. We got to do it. They get excited. But I guess keeping them excited, that'll be the main thing, being that sideline cheerleader, just having that empathy, having that, let's say sympathy in a sense there, but, know that you're here to help. That's the main thing. You can be successful just like your counterparts. Everybody can win. Everybody can eat. Everybody could, have that community wealth. And it's just getting that mindset. Some people's mindset are just not there only because of their past, only because of this is what they know, but extending, just the invitation and just having that knowledge and experience to help others. It's a beautiful thing. I just like it warms my heart, just to, help others. And it's just like, what can I do to get you here? Get people excited about talking about debt because, when the average person you talk, they shy, and I can speak from experience, starting off in this business and then, telling my story and just like, it's hard, just to talk about. But now that I'm able to talk about it and express, hey, yes, I was where you was at. I was there. And, it helps. And, people don't think, oh my gosh, just because you do this, you don't have problems. That's so not true. So they can be relatable to you once they understand, oh wow, you went through this, you went through this. So they're more apt to share, that one-on-one experience. It's so helpful. It's so needed, you know. And when you look like that same person, they can understand. So it's helpful in the community. You walk the grounds, you walk the walk, you talk the talk. It's easier that way. And I say I'm a prime example of it because I can't walk it if I've never been through it, and then they're more relatable to you. So just having that connection with your clients is very important. I'll say it's very important. I had a situation that just happened. One of my clients who she's been a victim of identity theft. And because of that, she didn't open up to me. I've been counseling her since September. And as of April, she just told me she been a victim of a scam, and she said that she didn't believe me. It took her months to do so, but I continue to kept on saying, I'm here to help. I can't, press the button just like, look, I'm not a scammer, I'm not this, but it took months for her to trust me. And she came out and said it. Not all do, but I was thankful for her honesty. So just having that faith, having that trust in someone is helpful. It's definitely helpful.
Good. There's one question, and then I'm gonna let everybody kind of go on.
Okay.
Octavia from MVP said, at the completion of the program, if clients' credit is still bad, what happens? Do
Well,
they
there's
have to stay to get a better score? Do you help regardless of the credit at the end?
there's no end date. That's the best part. There's no end date. Like there's just not a 90-day trial. It's not. I would say I have clients that I'm still counseling since first day. Some like that one-on-one. So we don't say kick people out. We don't do none of that. It's just their personal goal, meeting people where they're at, meeting their needs, meeting what they want to work on. A lot of people fall and a lot of people get back up. A lot of people stay down there, but we just keep working at it, looking at different ways of how can I help you? How can I help you get to where you need to be? Obviously, we can't give any money or anything like that. But how can we make your dollars work for you? Social Security, working, doesn't matter. But we don't, let's say in results, some of them like they just, you got to work with them. Say you got to work with them as much as you can, but there's no end date for anybody, no end date. If they don't want to say I say they know themselves better than anybody else. So when they call it quits, we just say, okay, we're here to help you to, want to say increase that credit score. So um, we still put it back on the client because obviously we have to empower them. in order to do better. So we
Right.
just, do what we can. We can only do what we can do on our side, but it's like a two-way street. All right, I'm asking you questions, are you doing this? Are you doing that? If that didn't work, let's try something else. If that didn't work, just seeing, what works best for them and putting it back on them. What do you want to do? What do you want to work on? So it's totally up to the client.
Great, great. Any other lasting questions or thoughts or for Stacey? Stacey, we're definitely gonna bring you back, but this is interesting. But I think what you did is kind of piqued our interest. We're gonna open this up to many more people. I know you had a presentation. I didn't want to do that because I didn't want to spoil that, but I think this was
No,
a
you're
great
fine. Yes,
log. So hold on to that presentation. We're
no
gonna call back.
worries.
I want to say thank you very much. Listen, I know you're only 50 minutes away from us, so we may come and do a little site visit as
Okay.
well. And we'll invite you to Buffalo too.
Awesome. I love it. I got family in Buffalo, so welcome home to me, right?
Yeah, there you go. There you go. We'll even feed you too.
Awesome. I love food.
Okay. All right.
But we're gonna be
Well,
on a
listen,
budget.
listen, we got you. All right. Listen, I want to say thank you
Thank you,
very
Dave.
much.
My pleasure.
Do appreciate the sharing, and we'll follow back up with you.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me as well.
Listen, all, thank you for coming to our abbreviated version of a block chat. We'll endeavor to make sure we get that information out to you in a more timely manner. And we're looking forward to our next opportunity to meet with each other. Until then, enjoy this weekend. It's Earth Day on Saturday. Find a project. If you haven't found a project, we can help you find a project. Call 311, call us. But you know what? Let's be good stewards as we are of our bodies, of our souls, and of this earth. Take care, guys.
Thank you.